Hello and welcome back to Jacob's Toys 5-minute figure reviews. Please do like, share and subscribe and all of those things. All support to the channel is very much appreciated. So during this video we are taking a look at the Infinity Saga Odin figure from Marvel Studios' Thor. We saw Anthony Hopkins reprise this role throughout various Marvel Studios films, and finally we have a Marvel Legends figure of him to boot. So let's have a look at the figure itself and what he comes with. So he comes with two additional hands, one closed fist and one kind of open palmed hand. And he also comes with his big staff that you see him with holding in a lot of the films. And it came with an additional head. Now this head did get a lot of stick from the internet, but we'll dive into that a little bit later. And also one thing I didn't realise is the helmet actually comes off this head. I thought that it was attached, but it's not. So you have two unmasked heads and you have the helmet as well. One thing I will just point out very quickly though is if you look carefully, the hairline is different. So you can't actually put that helmet on the other head. And if you wear the head without the helmet, then the hairline is obviously very different. Let's just take a closer look at these heads next to them side by side. So this is the one that the helmet goes over, so you can see that the hair is a lot tighter to the face, and it's got more of a neutral expression. It's probably the better head of the two if you ask me, but I'm planning to display mine with the helmet on anyway, so not too bothered about that because my favourite head has the helmet. The other head got a lot of stick over the internet because it's got this kind of awkward grin on it. It looked a little bit like the memes that we have floating around of that grey haired guy. And yeah, people kind of made fun of it from the off. But having a look at them side by side, you can see that they're slightly different expressions, but not a huge amount. On a shelf, you wouldn't necessarily know. So this is a custom head I made a while back from the Westworld Anthony Hopkins figure. Yeah, I mean, at the time I really liked it. It looks a little bit bigger. I think the resemblance of Anthony Hopkins is better, but it doesn't really work with this new figure, so I'm not going to keep that head, get rid of that, and I'm going to keep this head here, just pop that one back on. And because the helmet that he has is so impressive, when he puts it on, he really does look like Odin from the film. That is how I'm going to display mine personally. So that's about all I have to say about the heads. Let's put this one to the side, probably never see the light of day again. However, let's put this staff in his hand. Now I think I'm going to pick, I'm going to put it in his left hand, I think. Just because then I can put the closed fist hand in his right hand, and it's a bit more of a neutral pose. Now the figure itself is pinless, and there is a lot of detail here. It's not just a reused Thor mold. It is a unique sculpt for this particular figure, which is really nice and makes him stand out against the Thor figures that we have. So I'm going to put his staff here in his left hand, just because the hand looks like it looks to be more of a staff holding hand than the other one. I'll pop that one off. One thing to note about these two hands is they have the up-down swivel as opposed to the other two that have got the left-right. So pop the fist hand in, and oh, sorry, the camera jumped a little bit there. Pop the fist in, and you can see there that he's just got kind of a neutral pose, but because we've got the up-down swivel, you can kind of get him into a few different positions, so you can be holding his staff up and it can still look quite natural. And because obviously it is a pinless figure, with this sort of forward back swivel, it gives it a real kind of natural look, and you can get into some really kind of natural poses. So that's just him kind of holding it up. So just going back to what we were saying about Thor, we've only had really one version of Thor from the original film, and this was way back when, so these figures are really quite old. But this is the version of Thor from that original film with his helmet on, and these came out in a kind of it wasn't Marvel Legends, it was a similar wave that came out at the same time to complement the film, and they really do hold up. They're good figures. The only thing that lets them down is their head sculpt. If you take a closer look, I mean, it does look like Chris Hemsworth, but it is a much more primitive way of doing the head casts than they have nowadays with the photoreal technology. So it'd be really cool if I could put a request in. It would definitely be for them to go back and revisit this early Thor design and give us an updated figure to go alongside this very impressive looking Odin figure. Either that, or it will be a case of getting a custom head to go onto this body, just to give this face a bit of an update and make him look a little bit less action figure-y. Action figure-y? Is that even a word? But you know what I'm saying. Which is a bizarre thing in itself to say during an action figure review, but I would like an updated Thor from the first film. Whether we would see that or not, because the films obviously weren't as successful as some of the other MCU or Marvel Studio films, so whether they would go back and visit it, I don't know. But overall, this Odin, let's go back to him, this Odin figure is really, really cool. It's a really nice addition to the Infinity Saga line, and an overdue figure that we have been calling out for quite a while. So if you could now just do a gold suited Heimdall, then I would be very pleased and my Asgardian shelf would be complete. But he is definitely worth picking up if you get the chance. You get a nice amount of accessories for your money and you get a very unique sculpt to this particular character. So there we go, Odin. The only other thing as well to say is that the cape, if you have a look, it kind of sweeps off the shoulder, which none of the Thor figures do. So this is definitely a unique cape as well for Odin. Overall, a really cool figure. Please do like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.